Welcome back to another playoff interview. With me today, I have DOV Chaos, the one and the only. We have Eclipse, their mid laner, and Instinct, their AD carry. How you guys doing?
I'm good. I am great. How are you guys?
Pretty good myself. What about you, Instinct?
Same, pretty good, overall.
Well, I guess it's not really a welcome to duo because DOV had a team last season, but we do appreciate seeing some familiar faces and teams. Uh, I want to get to know you guys a little bit more on a personal level. Nothing too personal, so you don't have to worry about that. Uh, what are your hobbies outside of the game, Clips? What do you do that is you would like for people to know about you?
Standard nerd stuff, anime. Used to write, but not anymore. I
Okay,
stream. I stream these days.
okay.
Uh,
Any sports teams, anything like that?
I gave up on sports years ago, so long ago when I was a youngin.
Do you play any games outside of League of Legends?
Yeah, I love me some Elden Ring.
Okay.
I like to torture myself. Cult of the Lamb has been fun. Playing a Plague Tale right now.
All right.
The sequel comes out next month.
What about you, Instinct? Anything you want the community to know about yourself?
So I work in healthcare. I enjoy it a lot. Um, I like anime as well. I'm a big anime buff. Video games, kind of same thing. Pretty nerdy.
Same, bro. Same.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it and talk about DOV's season. Um, from the outside looking in, a lot of the community I feel like has the same answer for you guys. You're very flip floppy. One day you show up, you're doing really well. It looks like you're unstoppable almost. And then other days, sometimes on the same champions, Eclipse, hint hint, you shit the bed. So what's it like on the later half of the season with DOV? Are we on the upswing? Are we on the downswing? Are you guys ready for playoffs? What's the atmosphere inside of the team right now?
So very realistically, some people have better mentals than others. So
Okay.
certain mentals got in the way of certain things at certain points. So I've been working around trying to repair certain mentals and just replace others where I need to. Trying to build as much synergy as I can with the team.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Instinct? What's it feel like from your role in the bottom lane?
So I entered into chaos like I guess past halfway through. Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
Webcam died.
Past halfway through the season, and I've noticed there was a lot of like undecisiveness and a little unsureness, and I kind of like came in to like fix that and like do a lot of like drafts for them. Um, so I think yeah, we are on the upswing. We have like some really solid players that mentals are like Eclipse said a lot easier to handle and manage at this point.
okay. Okay. Um, so while the season has been up and down, it's been full of some high highs, right? Um, I think your wins versus PSA, the team ranked 2 spots above you, is a really good calling to that. A lot of people would say that PSA made a mistake and you guys capitalized on it. That PSA was playing down. I'm not going to discredit you in that sense. I'm going to say that you guys are playing to your full potential in those games, and it really shows that DOV can be a contender at certain points, and it especially says a lot considering PSA just took a game off of TLO this past Friday, and so when they're playing good, they can also be a contender. So while many may say that there is a huge gap between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then there's an even bigger gap between 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. How do you guys feel at the end of the season? How do you feel about your ups and your downs? Like, are your highs as high as I'm claiming them to be, or outside looking in thinking they are? Or are you guys the team that can only win when you capitalize off a mistake made by the enemy?
Well, obviously that's how we started, was winning off of we won off the back of comebacks.
Hmm.
We stayed back, we played safe, we saw a mistake and instantly jumped on it, then ran with the game. We won a bunch of our early games that way. Then the latter half of the season, we in the games we won, we started taking control instead. Because when we do play well and when we are on top of our game, we are a lot stronger than we look. We are decisive when we're in our own, when we're ready. I'm very quick to just jump on whatever the hell I see, and hoping that my team just is ready to follow up. They know by now that if they make any sort of play and I'm in the area, I'll instantly jump on top and just we all go in or we all fail together.
Okay. What about you, Instinct? How do you
S-
feel toward the end of the season there?
So yeah, I think we are definitely meshing well together, and I think the unsureness was there in the beginning of the season, so it was all flip floppy. But now, like we're all like handling things as a cohesive, and like Eclipse said, we are definitely like jumping on his opportunities more often now and trusting each other.
Okay. Are you the shot caller, Eclipse?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just a curious question. By the way, I didn't say this before, but do if you do not wish to, you do not have to answer any question, especially to devolve or I don't know what word I'm trying to use. You don't have to
Devalue.
tell us. Yeah, you don't have to tell us any draft secrets or anything like that. So if you if it's confidential, just tell me it's confidential, and we'll move on. So speaking of playoffs, I'm sure you guys know we have a three-way tie: Eden, ATS, and TEA. And I would like to get you guys' thoughts on if you had to play someone in that sixth spot, like if it came down to you versus them in the playoffs, what team do you match up well against and you think you might just stomp? And what team is the harder matchup? So I'm realistically asking you who you think's going to get in and then who you think you could stomp the hardest.
Right. TA, Eden, and ATS,
ATS.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Eden is definitely a lot better now than they were early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a strong lineup now, it feels like. Uh, I want to say ATS is a team I'd rather play against.
Okay. So you think you line up well against ATS over the other two teams?
Yeah.
What about you, Instinct? Who do you
So
prefer?
I have to agree with Eclipse. I think ATS is the one that I'd like to like play against. I know how to draft against them. I think the last game that we played against them was more mechanical and like decision making that we had lost against them. So I'd rather play against them. I think definitely Eden gave us the biggest problem because we went to late game against them and it just they completely took over the game and it was just a big struggle for us.
Okay. So let's just say for hindsight right now, or excuse me, for hypothetical reasons that Eden makes it and they're the sixth seed. That would put you guys versus TDL first game. How does DOV right now line up with the new and improved TDL, who only has one ban for the rest of the playoffs?
Hmm. We could definitely take advantage of that and draft the comps that we want more frequently. And if we're allowed to draft what we want, as long as we don't draft like our brains don't work, I think we could come out over TDL.
Now they are riding on the back of their top laner Inferno-esque, who seems to be just putting on performance after performance after performance, adding in a support who's well known in the community to be a very good player. Also, and I'm not sure who else they added on off the top of my head, but how does your top lane match up against what TDL is considered their carry?
He's very stable. He is a rock that we can often count on, and while he can be quiet, he lets us know when and where he can fight, and he is often the first one to jump in on a fight if he sees it.
Okay. What about you, Instinct? How do you feel about the TDL matchup as a team and inside of lane?
Yeah, I'd like to say that he usually does well in lane, our top laner.
Hmm.
So I definitely think we could rely on Thigh High, as well as making sure that he's like our primary engage. Like he's usually good with that as well. So I have like full faith that we can pull something out and really give Infernosk a run for our money.
What about the bot lane matchup against the new support? Odaro, I do believe his name is. He put on quite a show this last week. Um, is I mean, personally, I believe this is probably the strongest iteration of TDL that we've seen. They are a roster swapping org currently, but with their bans being gone, I think they beat us this past week, so they gave us a good reality check. I think they're pretty strong. So, how are you feeling about the actual bot lane matchup?
I assume you're asking me, but
Hmm.
yeah, I always play against somebody who's good and like has a good showing to really test their skills. But yeah, I'm just excited to play against them.
Sweet. So, in the TDL excuse me, yeah, TDL DOV series, what's the game score?
I mean,
I think we do. I think we can win 3-2.
I
Three
see.
two.
I see what you're saying.
It's best of fives or best of threes.
Actually, I think it's best of threes.
So we can win 2-1. I think we can pull it out.
Okay. What about you, STM?
Yeah, I think a 2-1 is definitely going to happen. They're a very good team, and they're definitely not to be taken light of.
Okay, so if you guys take that win, that would put you guys against PGM in the next set of series. Now PGM has been looking really strong. They've only dropped one game all season. A lot of people say they're at the top for a reason, and then you can hear some people say that they play one style and it's very easy to take advantage of. It's just now that we've come to realize the type of style they play. So, how do you guys feel that you match up versus PGM, and what do you think is going to happen in that series?
Well, we are the team that took that one game off of them.
That's right. Agreed.
It was early the season, but we did it. It was, yeah, a comeback game, if I remember correctly.
I think you guys
Uh,
were the only people to shut down the Urgot with Camille.
yes. That was the good old Thigh High. That's why we put a lot of faith in him. I have a lot of trust in him. We usually let him pick whatever the hell he's feeling at the moment.
So, what do you think on that series? It's I think that is a best of five. So, is that a 3-2? Is that a 3-1? Or is it a 3-0?
Well, they stomped us pretty hard the last time we played. We knew going into that they were coming for blood because we were the only team that
Mm-hmm.
took a game off them. So hopefully the bloodlust has died down a little bit, or maybe they'll just want to prevent history from repeating itself. I think if we can pull it out, it will be super, super close. It would be a 3-2.
What about you, SCN? How do you feel about the PGM matchup?
So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty like unsure about how we're going to approach it, but I think it's going to be definitely something we're gonna have to like take into consideration and really, really prep for. But I think if we prep really well for it and like get what we want, it'll be like a 3-2.
So, with this being a double elim, um, I'm not going to say safe to say, but let's just take seeds to an account. Game one will be PSA versus Eden TA or ATS. I'm going to give the win to PSA based off seeding, which would put them against TLO and the same week that you guys will be facing PGM. How do you guys feel about PSA versus TLO? Because that would decide who you play in the next bracket if you were to beat PGM.
Yeah, I kind of don't think PSA beats TLO. I just don't. Unless they play, or they did play better after our game against them. But TLO and PGM kind of scare me as teams, realistically. I'm just gonna be honest there.
What about you, Instinct? How are you feeling about that matchup?
Yeah, I think TLO is gonna probably take it. They've been like a team for a while now. I have to assume, yeah. And I'm pretty sure their cohesion's pretty like well. That's why they're the number 2 seed. But I would rather play TDL, to be quite honest.
Well, you're going to play TDL. You would have
You
to
mean
play us
PSA?
after you. Oh, you'd
Right.
rather play PSA. Okay, okay. So
Yes.
now that we've got the upper bracket down, are there any teams you're like, hey, we just don't match up well against them? Like they got our number. Sometimes not in individual standouts, but just as a team, they got our number. We struggle against them. And there are any teams where you just like, hey, like no matter what they do, we're going to shut them down. We just match up with them stylistically better. We have individual players that are just better. How do you feel about any of those teams, or if there are any?
I'm unsure because it's been best of ones all season and things have been all over the place. So I can't really say definitively who I feel like I'd stomp the crap out of, who I wouldn't.
Okay. What about you, Estienne?
So yeah, I mean, I think Apes strung together is one of our easier matchups. I think we do really well into them. Um, I think PGM is probably going to be our hardest opponent, like by far. It's going to take the most time, the most effort, if we face them.
Is there any teams? Are you 1-1 with every team? Is there any team that you're 0-2 on? I don't think so, right?
We DLO or O2.
Oh, is that
So
the
yeah,
only team?
Huh?
Is that the only team?
Is it the only team? It might actually be the only team.
Because okay, so let's just talk about the top ones. You beat PGM.
Right.
I don't remember losing to you guys. You beat PSA? You beat
No, I,
PSA. Yeah, so you beat PSA. You've beat ATS. You've beat TDL. You've beat Eden. You beat TEA. Okay, so yeah,
so we wanted everybody except
you've
TLO.
yeah right. So that's a surprising concept that you think PGM may be your harder matchup. Wow, when you've actually taken a game off them. Is there any reason why? Is it just like strong individual players in every role? Is it confidence from their bot lane instinct from where you play, or what have you?
So, well, when facing against Lenaro, it's
Mm-hmm.
Lenaro, right? I
In
think
a
he's
in a
just
row,
like
yeah.
in a row. There we go. I think he's just like a consistent player, and like even banning out his Sivir, he played. I forgot what he ended up playing against us. But he ended up still doing well against us, and completely, taking over the game. So I think, yeah, their bot lane is super strong. So it's like we're gonna really have to like focus in like making sure that they don't get ahead or making sure that we would lane.
Okay, okay. As far as Duo goes as a community, as a league, it's a more content driven league. I don't know if you guys have participated in anything else, but how do you like your second season here? Are you having a good time? How's the format? Is there any yays or nays toward the Duo experience?
The first week was kind of a mess. Reschedules left and right. Hard to get people together. People refusing to respond to reschedule requests and the such. But outside of that, it's been an interesting season. I don't regret being here.
You got a specific piece of content that you really enjoy from the from Duo?
Well, I think I was on the first. Was it with you?
Yeah, podcast. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
host
was
the
on the
podcast.
first. Yeah, I was on the first one there. That was definitely fun.
Well, good. I'm glad you enjoy it. What about you, Instinct? Is there anything you'd like to say about the Duo community and any kind of content that you really enjoy here?
I think everybody's super chill. I think I've played in duo like seasons back before on DOV, so I really don't have much issue with them. Like I really the streams are really cool. I like to bet on the games, so they're pretty fun.
Okay, okay. Is there any last words you gentlemen would like to get to any opponents coming for your throat in the playoffs?
Come at me.
I'll just see you guys on the Rift. You know.
See us on the Rift. All right. I'll take that one personally, Eclipse, since we're both mid laners.
Yeah, I'm gonna get camped so hard for seeing that.
Nah, bro. Me and you just farm it out. I think that's actually what we do every time we play each other. I think we just farm.
Yeah,
We
farm
might
out.
trade. I don't trade. I actually remember this from our last game. I think you played Anivia and I played Vigart, and I was like, if he doesn't attack me, I'm not going to attack him until he attacks me. And then you autoed me one time, and I was like, all right, we got to do this. But
Yeah.
hey, guys, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for being here.
Yep.
Thanks for having
So
us.
if this video will be uploaded to YouTube, so you guys can watch it over with your team and get a real good feel about. They let them blast you guys for not being more confident in DOV.
Of course.
They blast me, I'll blast them right the hell back.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys, and I appreciate your time.